He's bringing Mr. Aragon. He's not yet logged on. You'll need to take Mr. McGarry first.
Thank you, Mr. Bullen.
Oh, so Mr. Aragon is being brought in person?
Being brought from DOC into WebEx. Sure.
Okay.
Tahoe. It was a 2024. Marked patrol card just very simply means it has the sheriff's name on the side with our seal. And then it is marked as sheriff on both opposite sides of the vehicle.
And when you're on duty and patrolling in the vehicle, are you by yourself or are you with another person?
Generally by ourselves. We all are issued separate cars. Unless we go down, then we'll buddy up. But for this instance, I was by myself.
And when you're on a shift like that, are there other officers that are on duty as well?
Correct.
And also as part of your work when you're on shift, there are other law enforcement agencies in Clear Creek County, correct?
Correct.
And how does the sheriff's office work in tandem with those agencies?
Generally, if we ask for assistance, it is provided from any available officer, whether it be from any of the other agencies that are here in the county.
Okay, so if you would need assistance from somebody like Idaho Springs, for example, they would respond?
Yes.
Okay. And you were working in your position on August 11th of 2025, correct?
Correct.
At around 4:00 in the afternoon, were you on patrol on that day?
I was.
And did you get a call out about a motorist assist issue?
It was an officer initiated contact.
Okay. And where was this?
Under the 243 underpass of Central City Parkway. It's more affectionately known as that.
Okay. So tell me where that is exactly.
So under the I-70 corridor at mile marker 243, it's the parkway that goes right past the Mountain Gateway, also more affectionately known as the Squatch. That parkway will take you all the way up into Gilpin County, affectionately taking you all the way to Central City. But we were specifically under the underpass of I-70 for that.
Okay. And it's called the Swatch. Why?
Because
I
they
think
are
we
the
know, but you
owners
can
of
tell
the
us.
Sasquatch Casino, and they have a very big Squatch inside the store that you can actually see.
That's the gas station right there,
Correct,
right? Okay.
yeah.
So the underpass is right there between the Squatch and the off outer road. Is that right?
Correct, yeah. So County Road 314, it'll be at the off-ramp and on-ramp to I-70 eastbound, and then also on the reverse side of that, the Squatch gas station, and then it'll take you right into, I believe it's a CDOT yard on the opposite side of that.
So you were underneath the highway on 70 on that road, correct? And what did you find?
As I was sitting at the light, I had another vehicle just approach my vehicle. I noticed them pretty quickly because they slammed on their brakes on the passenger side of my vehicle. I looked over trying to see what was going on. Both a male and female started kind of yelling. So I rolled down my window to try to figure out what they were saying and what was going on. At that point, they had started pointing about another vehicle behind my marked patrol car, stating that there was something going on. I'm trying to figure it out. At that point, the female passenger got out of the vehicle and started running behind my vehicle. I couldn't really see her at that point, so I got on my radio, requested emergent cover to try to figure out what was going on. At the time, I had no idea.
Okay. So is that something that you would commonly do in certain circumstances, is ask for a cover vehicle?
Yes, especially when there's a potential officer safety issue.
Okay. And how does that work when you call a cover vehicle? Do you pick or it's just the closest car?
It's literally whoever's closest. It could be from wherever you are, Idaho Springs, Empire PD, State Patrol, doesn't matter.
Okay. And then what happened?
At that point, I'd gotten out of my vehicle. The female party started beating on the passenger side window for the vehicle that was directly behind me. I had gotten out of my vehicle, started walking back that way, and then the female party had returned back to the other vehicle that was next to mine, and then they had gotten on the highway and left the scene. That left me to talk with the driver of the vehicle directly behind me to try to figure out what was going on.
Okay. And the driver in that vehicle, what kind of vehicle was that?
It was a golden color SUV. An older, what appeared at the time was a Suburban, operated by a single male.
Okay. And do you see that person in court here today who you saw in that vehicle?
I do.
Can you point out an item of clothing is wearing is where he's located in the courtroom, please?
Yes, just off to my left in a red pullover shirt, I believe, or a sweater.
Your Honor, can the record reflect an in-court identification of the defendant?
The record will so reflect.
Thank you. Okay, so you saw the vehicle, and that vehicle was where exactly in relation to the roadway?
The Suburban was directly behind my vehicle, in the left-hand turning lane, attempting to get eastbound on I-70.
Okay, so that was so there's a turning lane going that way. Was there also a turning lane going on the westbound too under there?
No, that right side lane is a straight through lane to enter on the County Road 314.
Okay, so it would have been positioned like approximately in the middle of the, below the underpass or overpass, I should say.
Correct, yes. Both of our vehicles were under the
Okay,
highway.
and you talked to the defendant?
Yes, I did.
And what was that conversation regarding?
Initially, just walked up, tried to ascertain what was going on. I did affect to get his name. I did ask for his license, registration, and insurance for the vehicle as well. He had instructed me that he did not have a license. I'd asked him if he had any type of ID. He eventually did provide it to me verbally, which I cleared with dispatch. And we kind of went from that angle.
Okay, and then what happened?
After that, I did get my cover that I had requested, which was Sergeant Sonnenberg from Idaho Springs Police Department. He had arrived. I had asked Mr. Parrish, who he identified himself at that time, to step out of the vehicle so we could kind of figure out what was going on. At that point, we stepped out of his vehicle. We began talking, trying to figure out what was going on. I asked him what the issue was, how he got here, things of that nature. And apparently there was some kind of an issue that happened well before he even approached me. And it sounded like it was before the county. Through that, Sergeant Sonnenberg had begun to kind of look around the vehicle. He had asked some other questions as well. But at that time, I was primarily focusing on clearing Mr. Parrish, making sure all of that information, to which I was informed that he was revoked HTO, which is simply stating that his license was revoked by the state due to being classified as a habitual traffic offender.
And so where was Sergeant Sonnenberg at the time?
Just circling the vehicle, from what I recall. He was primarily looking at Mr. Parrish's vehicle. He had asked some questions about the ownership of it, because at first the plate did not match, but we did figure that out thanks to dispatch.
Okay, when you say circling, he was on foot?
Yes.
Okay,
Sorry.
so where was his vehicle?
His vehicle was nosed into mine, so in front of mine, and both of the front ends of our car were facing each other.
Okay, and then what was the next thing that happened with regards to Sergeant Sonnenberg at the scene?
Sergeant Sonnenberg continued to search the vehicle. He had mentioned.
Well, let's back up. Hold on a second. There was a conversation. Was there a conversation about the registration with the defendant?
Yes, so there was. And it was really hard to hear. However, we had asked Mr. Parrish in reference to the registration and some of the documentation in his vehicle. He had stated that it was inside the vehicle. I believe it was the glove box specifically. So we started walking back there. Then there was the issue that there was some drug paraphernalia that was observed inside the vehicle as well. You would have to refer more to Sonnenberg on what he was really talking about in the sense of the where the registration was on that aspect of it. I apologize. I didn't get in there to see it.
So were you in the vehicle, or was Sergeant Sonnenberg in the vehicle?
I was Sergeant Sonnenberg largely. I got into the vehicle later.
Okay, where were you at the time Sergeant Sonnenberg was in the vehicle?
At the time, I was still with Mr. Parrish, just I guess diagonal from the driver's door, maybe about 5 or so feet from the car. And then we kind of got a little closer, and then I had notioned Mr. Parrish to come back from the car.
Okay, and when you were at the vehicle and Sergeant Sonnenberg was when you were at your automobile and Sergeant Sonnenberg was in the defendant's vehicle.
Correct.
Did you have any conversation with Mr. Parrish?
Yes. So me and Mr. Parrish had maintained just a conversation about how, hey, we have to address certain things, or it's going to snowball. We have to address it as it comes up. And then once we kind of figured out where we would all go, once we knew all the facts at the hand, we would be able to help him out the best way we could. But we didn't know much until then. Well, at least I maintained that with him because I wasn't unsure what was being found.
Okay, and what, if anything, did he tell you at that point?
For Mr. Parrish.
Yes.
I had made a request to just ask him what else is there anything in the vehicle that we needed to know about? Mr. Parrish did mention that there were 2 oxys and aspirin inside the vehicle towards the glove box. Then I relayed that to Sergeant Sonnenberg.
What is oxys? What does that mean?
I took that to mean oxycodone or oxycontin, but they're generally little pills that people use to elicit some kind of a high.
Okay. And then what was the next thing that Officer Sonnenberg told you, if you remember?
From what I recall, he was going around the vehicle still. I was still talking to Mr. Parrish, and then I recall Sergeant Sonnenberg coming out and verbalizing that he had found fentanyl.
Okay. Did he tell you about anything else that he found in the car?
Not that I recall of immediately off the top of my head.
And then what did you do in response to that?
From that, I had addressed it with Mr. Parrish. I went ahead and placed him in handcuffs and informed that he was detained so that we could still figure out a few more aspects. At that point, then I tried to move to evidence collection with Officer Hardy, who was also there to assist as well. Fast forwarding a little bit from that, because I was trying to find a preferred method of plastic. Went back, told Mr. Mr. Parrish that I would like him to enter my vehicle so that he wouldn't be in risk from being hit from the cars. Unfortunately, we were just under the underpass, so there were quite a few cars going around us. And then once we had gotten the actual plastic for the evidence collection, we kind of began that process.
And so as part of, you said you collected evidence out of the vehicle?
Correct. Yeah.
What does that mean exactly? Explain what that means.
So a part of one of the normal patrol functions, if we do find illicit drugs or evidence of any kind that we need to collect, we prefer to take it in various means, whether it's a paper bag or a plastic bag. Since we suspected that it was drugs, we prefer to do plastic. It's easy to see through and manage. So I'd retrieved some of those plastic bags, brought it back to effectively take the suspected fentanyl pills that we had found, placed them in there.
So you went to the vehicle after Sergeant Sonnenberg had already searched it, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so you don't know where exactly the items were found that were in the
No.
car?
When I finally got into the vehicle, I took out my camera, started taking photos of where I found, where everything was, primarily in the seats, and then I believe like the center console ashtray area.
And what kind of things did you find when you went in there after Officer Sonnenberg asked you to collect the evidence?
Various items, small or larger pieces of tinfoil that had burn residue on them. They were black or brown in color. Brillo pads that had been kind of torn apart that were also discolored as well in the same manner. I found a clear pipe that had like a smoky residue in it, consistently from my training and experience being some sort of a meth or crystalline substance. There were also torches as well. So that's pretty much the just outside of the blue pills that are commonly known as fentanyl due to the markings and their size and color.
Well, let's talk about the torches. We're not talking about blow torches here, right? What are we talking about? That's what you call them, but what are they really?
Just hand lighters. They do titrate them a little bit so it has a finer point to the flame, but they're about hand sized. Some of them are oddly shaped, but this one was just really unsure how to demonstrate that, but just a handheld torch, and you click it and it produces the flame.
So there's nothing inherently illegal about an item like that, correct?
No.
So is it the kind of torch that you could use if you're making like a flambe or like a little cups of the desserts that you fry on the top?
That would be exactly it.
Or you could light cigars with them as well?
Yep.
Okay. And then you said you saw blue pills?
Correct.
And have you ever seen pills like that before?
I have, yes.
And what in your training experience do you believe those pills to be when you see them?
Due to multiple cases I've worked with it to be fentanyl. They had the marking M30 on them imprinted in the actual pill. So that, again, with a drug chart that I compare to at the sheriff's office, I believe those to be fentanyl, yes.
So let's talk about the tinfoil. There's tinfoil. What size tinfoil are we talking about?
I mean, there was a full roll. There were multiple sizes ranging anywhere, I'd say maybe between like 6 inches all the way down to really small
Okay, well, let's slow down so we can make a record of that. So you said 6 inches, like 6 inches square?
Oblong shaped, but the gist, yes.
Okay, and then smaller pieces?
Correct. Total surface area would probably be anywhere between 1 inch to maybe 3 inches, but they were all various sizes.
Okay, and do you remember about how many of those things you saw in the car?
From memory, I roughly saw at least 4 that I remember specifically, largely due to Mr. Parrish being confronted about it and asked about the size and the reason he had the tinfoil in the car. And he stated that he was making potatoes.
Experience with the criminal justice probation, and that we're going to revoke and reinstate your probation with 6 days of jail and 6 days of credit for time served. Counsel, did I accurately state the agreement there?
Had issued a warrant for her arrest twice. So, Your Honor, given the prior failure to appear and the multiple cases, and then there's a pending sentencing, I do believe a scheduled amount is appropriate. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Deng. All right, Ms. Santos, if you want to address the court, you certainly can. I want you to keep in mind that you have a right to remain silent, okay? Anything you say can be used against you, so I wouldn't talk about the facts of the case, okay? So is there anything that you wanted the court to be aware of?
I don't have the means to pay my bond. But I promise that I didn't do this. So
Ms. Santos, that's not a problematic statement, but just make sure and don't say anything about the case, okay? It sounds like you have limited
I
financial
don't have
means.
the means to pay this.
Okay. Do you? I know I mentioned it. So pretrial is something you can be screened for. It's not guaranteed that you'd be accepted. But if you're interested in seeking out some treatment, is something that can provide you with additional bond opportunities if you
Yes.
engage in the program. Are you interested in
Everyone
being
else get out
screened?
of here, please.
Okay, if you're interested in being screened, we can ask for you to be screened and you would be reset, I think, for Wednesday after the screen was done.
Be what now?
You would be on for advisements again on if you weren't able to post in the bond that's set and you're screened for pretrial, you would be reset for
And how much
Wednesday.
is the bond?
2,500 cash or surety or 250 cash.
Okay.
So the question for you now is whether you want to be screened for pretrial and see if you're accepted into that program this Wednesday.
I don't understand.
So here, Ms. Santos, so we have a pretrial service program, okay? So it allows for you to get some services, or allows a defendant to get some services while they're going through the process, okay? So it's before they enter a plea or anything like that. Can't really order you to do that, but if you want to voluntarily do it, then I can make it an order of the court that you do it because I can adjust your bond, okay? But it requires you to check in with Advantage Treatment Centers. You're subject to random UAs and BAs. You've got to go to meetings and check-ins, and that's something that is available that I could order if you get screened and you're an appropriate candidate for that program. But ultimately, that's something that you would have to do. I would say I'm not opposed to screening you for pretrial to see if that's something that you want to do or to see if that would be beneficial to you. Quite frankly, I'm concerned that you have other matters. You're currently pending sentencing right now on several matters, and now we have these new charges. I did review the affidavit in this case, and it looks like you were a passenger, at least at the time. This came up, but
It wasn't a position.
so hold on, my job here is not to determine your guilt, okay? So I want to remind you, don't talk about if you talk about the facts of the case, those statements can be used against you. To have those conversations with your lawyer, okay? But my job is to determine the appropriate bond for you, to make sure that the public is safe, to make sure that you continue to show up for court when you need to, okay? But I have to take into consideration your criminal history, if you have pending charges, any prior failures to appear. I have to take into consideration your financial means as well, and it sounds like you don't have any financial means. However, if you're on pretrial services and that's something you're doing, then certainly it would make it easier for me to grant you a lower bond or even a PR
Okay.
bond. But
Okay, that
I
makes
don't
sense.
know, I don't know if that's something that you're going to
Whatever
meet
grants
the,
me lower bond.
I don't know if that's going to, if you're going to meet the criteria for that, given the current charges that you have. You may not, I don't know. That's why we do a screening. So what I can do is I can set you back over for Wednesday's docket. In the meantime, can have the public defender reach out to Mr. Bessie with ATC and have him contact you with the jail and screen you for pretrial, and then bring you back here on Wednesday, and then we can hear from him as to whether or not you're a good candidate for that, okay?
In
In
the
the
meantime,
meantime,
what
what
if we bond?
well, here's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set bond at schedule, which is $2,500 cash or surety or $250 cash. I'll put this back on Wednesday's docket. So instead of giving you a return filing of charges date, I'll put it back on Wednesday's docket, Mr. Kaufman. Give you an opportunity to talk to her at the jail. She can get screened by pretrial services, and then we can make a decision on modifying bond at that point if she's still in custody. Okay? All right, Mr. Dang, any objection to that?
No, Your Honor. What time on Wednesday?
It'll be 1:30, just our normal
Okay.
advisement.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you, Ms. Santos. I'll see you there. Okay, someone will be in touch with you from either the Public
Thank you.
Defender's Office as well as from ATC, okay? All right, have a good day, ma'am.
Yeah.
All right, council, I think that's our docket for today. Thank you all for your help. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thanks, Deputy.
That's going to give him enough time to think about it. I don't want to accept it today, even if he's changed his mind. It's just too much. I want to make sure that he's sort of cemented in what he wants to do. And so we can address protection order next week if we can get it in next week. Does that give everybody enough time?
That would be enough time, and our request would be to address protection order at that juncture.
Okay. Ma'am, if we use next Wednesday next Thursday? Next Thursday at 2:30, are you available? Does that work for you?
I would probably have to pair like WebEx, but yeah, that's fine.
And you're welcome to, if that's fine. All right, let's use next Thursday at 2:30. To be clear, that's the 25th at 2:30.
Yes, Judge.
And then I'll give you the paperwork back and we'll
Okay.
just have them redate it and initial it or something. And do you want to bring a misdemeanor in here?
Yes, please.
Do you know that case number? Oh, it's already in there. So 285M 3781 we'll bring in as well. All right, thank you. All right, then we'll see everybody next Thursday at 2:30.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Take care. All right, court will be in recess for a few moments. Thank you. Any issues with that at all?
No, sir.
Uh,
Yes.
Specifically about the protection order?
I don't remember asking her any questions about that.
But that was the subject of the conversation, is that right?
Believe so.
And at the jail, you noticed the injuries on Miss Nunez.
Yes.
And that is when you took photographs of them,
Yes.
specifically of her bloody knees
Yes.
and a scratch on her arm.
Yes.
And do you see any injuries on her hands?
I don't remember.
And this, at the time you were taking the pictures, was around 9:10 in the morning, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Any redirect?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
So just to clarify a couple of things, does it matter for your investigation when someone says, just take me to jail? Does that change your suspicion about the situation?
No, I handle it the same way. I still do an investigation, still figure out who everyone is.
Okay, cool. Like I said, I just want to clarify, shore up a couple of points. And Ms. Tafoya, where was she sleeping? Do you recall in the house?
I believe in the living room.
Okay, so she was sleeping in a living room in kind of the middle of everything,
Yes,
but still apparently didn't know what had gone on.
correct.
And yet she told you that she knew that one of her daughters had gone on a walk.
Yes,
So would you say that that is consistent with each other or somewhat inconsistent, just based on your opinion?
it's inconsistent, especially after I watched the video. It appeared that she knew more.
And kind of last thing, when and if a victim refuses medical attention, does that mean that you don't press charges, or does that change your investigation at all?
No,
And so you don't need to have the victim request medical attention.
no,
And what about an injury and the victim's testimony? Is that enough to show that an offense occurred?
yes,
So you don't need a recording or an audio record from the victim themselves. You just need to see their injuries, correct? And hear.
Correct. If an injury is consistent with their statement they're provided, that's what I need.
Thank you. And do victims in fights often try to defend themselves?
Yes,
And does that often result in injury?
yes.
No further questions. Thank you.
All right. Any recross?
No, Your Honor.
All right. You may step down. And you may call your next witness.
Your Honor. Oh, sorry. Huh? My bad. Your Honor, we actually just received word that despite the fact that our officer accepted the subpoena, he has since been moved from Greeley Police Department, and we found out today. So we are requesting that we can reschedule to do a part 2 of this proceeding.
You want me to jump in and explain?
Sure, that'd be great.
Okay,
Why don't you
because
come
the
to the
mic,
microphone
yeah.
though?
So I called Officer Weichel because he was not here, and he told me that he has moved from GPD to RTD, and he accepted his subpoena, but something funky must have happened because he was like, this wasn't even on my radar at all. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but we did do our due diligence. We did send that subpoena out, so we would just request a second, I guess setting isn't the right word, but a second half of the motions hearing. I did get his unavailability for the next 6 months, and the only dates he would be unavailable are July 14th through July 17th.
All right. Any position from the defense?
We object to continuing, Your Honor. The officer was subpoenaed and did not appear. Ms. Nunez is here in person, and the officers and the people have been well aware of this hearing for quite some time. And so it's prejudicial to Ms. Nunez to continue it with one of the officers not here.
All right, the court will find due diligence based on the service on the officer. It looks like we're set for jury trial right now on July 22nd, so I don't know that we're going to have any dates that we could reset this before that. Let's see what dates we might have to set the remainder of the motions hearing.
Second, if you wanted to keep the same date. Before next Monday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming we're not going to be able to fit it in, right?
Then we don't know if we have trial yet on Wednesday, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't, but so why don't we see if we have another date? I mean, if not, we could set something Thursday afternoon if we needed to, but let's see if we have something else first. Sorry. Okay, June 29th at 4 o'clock after bond hearings. Okay. Does that work for the people too?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Does that work for the defense?
Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor.
So we'll do June 29th at 4 o'clock. We might be able to keep that same jury trial date, but we're probably going to have to move it just a little bit. Do we have availability to move it to the following week, which would be July 29th? Oh, we do. Okay. All right. Why don't we leave the same date set for trial for now? It's a couple days short of being able to get the transcript, but we may still be able to get that done if you get that in right away. And we'll address the trial date at our next date. Okay. All right. So the case then will be reset to June 29th at 4 o'clock for the remainder of the motions hearing. And if we are still going with bond hearings, it may get pushed back just a little bit. Okay.
Thank you,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. And I think our next case is set at 2:30. I'm going to just take a quick break. Well, actually, I think there's a motion to continue on this, isn't there? Okay.
There is. This one's mine. Yeah.
All right, so portal called People versus Ishmael Casada, 24M 2917. Oh, we do need an interpreter. Okay.
Do you want me to?
All right, then why don't I take a quick recess and then hopefully we'll have our drinks by then. Shake. So.
20 T 1852? It must be 26 T. That's okay. You'll plead guilty to lane usage violation, weaving, fines, fees, and costs. And the people are indicating they can't make a case for DWAI as your test came back 0.012, pretty low. But you'll plead guilty to the weaving with the fines, fees, and costs. Anyone putting pressure on you to get you to do that?
No,
Are you under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or medication?
no,
Doing this of your own free will?
sí.
Yes. Either tired or something was going on, you were weaving that day?
El motivo fue porque no sabiendo, conocía el lugar donde estaba.
I just didn't know where I was at.
Okay. Guilty or not guilty?
Culpable.
Guilty.
Court will accept the guilty plea. Find it's knowingly entered. After a full advisement, waiver of rights, sufficient facts, enter final judgment on that charge, dismiss the balance, just the fines, fees, and the costs, option to pay it in full. That'll be the balance, $25 time payment fee if you need to set up a payment plan. That'll be it for today. Good luck.
Okay, muchas gracias.
No restitution.
No payment plan order, right? Is he swinging to the lane of knowledge?
Yeah. that's- Court will call Pamelman Kenzo Kalua. Peleman? Hello. Are you now or have you ever been in the US military?
No.
Did you understand your rights in the advisement?
Sí.
Yes.
Met with the district attorney?
Sí.
Elected to represent yourself and plead guilty to an added count. Now, fictitious plates, the original charge, up to 90 days in jail and a $300 fine. You'll avoid that. Plead guilty to expired plates with the fines, fees, and the costs. Is that what you wanted to do?
Yes.
Anyone putting pressure on you to get you to do that?
No.
Are you under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No.
Doing this of your own free will?
Sí.
Yes.
Wrong plates on the car, something like that?
Las placas sobrepuestas en el auto, eso es lo que pasó?
Sí, no sabía.
Yes, I didn't know.
Guilty or not guilty?
Culpable.
Culpable.
Guilty.
I'll accept the guilty plea, find it's knowingly made after full advisement, waiver of rights, sufficient facts to support it, enter final judgment on that charge, dismiss the original charge. I assume $30 fine, fees, and costs. I think that's what auto populates. Go right out here, we'll set you up on a payment plan or let you pay it in full. Good luck.
Buena suerte.
Court will call People versus Angelo Rojas Mata, 2016-1320, coming forward. Hello, sir.
Buenas tardes, mi señoría.
Good afternoon.
Did you understand your rights in the advisement?
Sí, mi señoría.
Registration, fictitious plates, punishable by 90 days in jail and a $300 fine, being dismissed in exchange for your plea of guilty to driving under restraint, fines, fees, and costs. It would be an additional restraint against your license, but will impose the minimum costs and the minimum fine. How do you wish to plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Culpable, mi señoría.
I'll accept the guilty plea. Fine is knowingly made after a full advisement, waiver of rights, sufficient facts, enter final judgment on that charge, dismiss the balance, just the fines, fees, and the costs that auto populate, and we'll send you downstairs. Set up a payment plan. If you can't pay it in full, good luck.
Muchas gracias, mi señoría. Tenga feliz tarde.
Thank you. You too.
1 month.
Court will call George Silva Maldonado, 26T1654. Jorge? Hello, sir. Are you now or have you ever been in the US military? Did you understand your rights in the advisement?
Yes.
This calls for you to plead guilty as a driving under the influence second offense. 10 days jail, but on work release, treatment release, education release, work seek with a year suspended, $1,000 fine suspended, 24 months of supervised probation with cost of care and supervision fees. Those will come down as you get on lesser supervision and ultimately unsupervised. Complete the alcohol evaluation, all recommendations, all standard conditions. Report as directed, no new offenses, no drugs or alcohol except for medical marijuana and prescription medications, 48 hours of useful public service, the victim impact panel through Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and then a $600 fine, actually $1,000 fine suspended. How do you wish to plead? Guilty or not guilty? Doing this of your own free will?
Yes.
I'll accept the guilty plea. Fine, it's knowingly made after a full advisement, waiver of rights, sufficient facts, enter final judgment on that charge. Dismiss the others. 24 months of supervised probation. Go to the probation department right up the street at the Chase Bank Building. Address will be in the paperwork.
La dirección, señor.
Read the conditions carefully before you sign it. That's what'll be expected of you. All standard conditions, cost of care, supervision fees, reporting requirements, no new offenses. Complete the evaluation and all recommendations in the document. 48 hours of useful public service, the victim impact panel. Suspended fine, 10 days jail with a year suspended as required by statute. Is that what you, any questions?
¿Alguna pregunta? No.
All right. Go to probation, set up a payment plan downstairs, and go to Geo Reentry Services. Good luck. No, I didn't. Intake date will be
Para la cárcel, permiso para salir a trabajar.
thank you.
Tiene 13 de
July 13th at 9 a.m. at work release. Thank you.
¿Ok? Ahorita le van a dar dirección, pero es el 13 de julio. 13 de julio. Es que se va a reportar, ¿ok? Ok, gracias.
Court will call Miguel Gonzalez Barriga. 26T1657. Hello, sir.
Buenas tardes.
Are you now or have you ever been in the U.S. military?
No.
Did you understand your rights in the advisement?
Sí.
Yes.
Any questions for me about any of those things?
No.
Never been in the military, electing to represent yourself. Plead guilty to DUI as a first offense, punishable by up to a year in jail and $1,000 fine, but you'll avoid those penalties by completing the agreed upon probation. The following charges will be dismissed: defective vehicle, disobeying a lane usage violation, each punishable by fines, fees, and costs, and DUI per se, which is a different rationale and a different way to prove DUI. You'll plead to the alternate way of proof. Anyone putting pressure on you to get you to do that?
No.
Are you under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or medication?
Oh.
Drugs, alcohol, medication? I just need to make sure you're thinking clearly.
No.
All right. And you were driving at a time when you were substantially incapable of safely operating a motor vehicle? Driving drunk, so to speak?
¿No fue ebrio ese día?
Sí.
Yes.
Guilty or not guilty?
Culpable.
Court will accept the guilty plea, find it's newly entered after a full advisement, waiver of rights, sufficient facts, enter final judgment on that charge, dismiss the other charges, impose 12 months of of supervised probation with the standard conditions, go to the probation department up the street, sign those terms and conditions, set up the evaluation, keep those appointments, complete the recommendations. MAD Victim Impact Panel, 48 hours of useful public service through Geo Reentry Services, 5 days jail suspended by statute, $600 fine suspended in my discretion. There is no restitution. Get the paperwork, go to the probation department, and make sure you go to the other two stops to set up a payment plan and for useful public service. Good luck.
Una suerte. Pasa el pasillo.
Ok, gracias.
Court will call Giancarlo Rodriguez. 26T 1655. Hello, sir.
Good afternoon.
As I understand it, you had an opportunity to meet with the district attorney. Did you understand your rights?
¿Sus derechos? Yes.
Never been in the military?
¿Los Estados Unidos?
Elected to represent yourself and resolve it today.
Yes.
You'll plead guilty to DUI as a first offense.
Yes.
5 days jail suspended, $600 fine suspended. You'll avoid up to a year in jail and $1,000 fine by completing this probation. Plead guilty to driving under the influence. No proof of insurance, up to a year in jail and $1,000 fine, and careless driving, all dismissed. 12 months supervised probation, standard terms and conditions. Complete the evaluation, the recommendations, cost of care, supervision fees, no new offenses. 48 hours of useful public service, geo reentry services for the useful public service and the victim impact panel. You're stipulating to the factual basis for purposes of proximate cause and restitution if there's damages, and the injured party, probably property, but if that person files a request for restitution, you have 14 days to object, and then we set a hearing. If you don't object and I enter it in that amount, sometimes it costs more to come down and fight it than to just let it enter, okay? How do you wish to plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'll accept the guilty plea, find it's knowingly made after full advisement, waiver of rights, sufficient facts,
Suficientes hechos.
enter final judgment, dismiss the balance, impose the 12 months of supervised probation, cost of care, supervision fees will come down. 12 months of supervision, 48 hours of useful public service. Complete the victim impact panel and file that proof. Complete the alcohol and drug evaluation and complete all of those requirements. Complete the MAD victim impact panel. Looks like a refusal, so no costs associated with the breath test. And restitution will be determined on that schedule. I'll issue the order today, but the amount to be determined after a contested hearing if necessary. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ortega. Court will call People versus Harold Haney coming forward, 26T 1831. Mr. Haney, looks like we're going to set this over. Any questions about your three charges
No, sir.
or your rights in the advisement?
No, sir.
Based on the information I have to issue an additional set of orders. You'll need to be fingerprinted and photographed within 14 days of today's date. I'll issue the additional conditions on a summons, appear at all future court dates, no drugs or alcohol, but on the honor system right now, if your blood tests were to come back excessively high, then I can require monitored sobriety, but I don't ask you to tell me any information about your priors. That's up to them. No drugs or alcohol. Do not drive without a license or proof of insurance. And then comply with the fingerprint order. And it says they're waiting on the blood work. What I don't want that is to signify to you, oh, I'll just wait. I won't need an attorney. Well, let me see if I need an attorney later. I can't have you wait 7 months to get the blood and then start scrambling for an attorney. Sometimes people say, I'm not one to waste time and I'm going to take the deal and I'm going to resolve it. Don't need an attorney. But if you think you need an attorney, or you're going to get one, don't wait until the blood comes back. Do you want a public defender application?
No.
You think you'll talk to private lawyers? just
I
gonna
think I
think-
might handle it myself right now, but I may talk to a lawyer, but I think I'm just gonna handle it myself.
Okay, that's totally fine. If it changes, use this time to talk to a lawyer, okay?
August 21st at 11.
Thank you. August,
They said I could request a WebEx since I live in Denver.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
However, we're gonna make a deal, right? What was the date?
August 21st at 11.
I don't mind doing that for you, but as soon as you have an attorney, it's automatic. I've found over the years that on WebEx, just turn me off like a TV show. And then you don't think of me, not you, but people don't think about me till next time and then they make more excuses. I have had that and then I just start making you come and you say, but I'm coming from Denver. Then I get your attorney right away. So I would say get an attorney if you have any inclination to do so, although I will allow you to appear by WebEx at least at this time and then just remind me. I don't need to waste your time up here as long as you don't waste mine.
Right, yes, sir.
I had a guy one time, he appeared 6 times and then he said, why do I keep coming in person? Everybody else is on WebEx. He's exactly what I was describing. He just wouldn't get the lawyer and time would fly and he would forget.
Yeah.
So, get lawyer. Let me put it on here because I won't probably remember. So next time, as long as you're making progress regardless, if you're going to resolve it, then I'll give you the time. But a separate sentencing or trial dates, those would be in person, okay?
Okay.
Court date is
August 21st at 11.
August 21st at 11. Thank you. See you then.
Thank you.
We'll get some paperwork out there. Yeah. I said the honor system, I think. Court will call People versus Kevin Corral Rodriguez. Hello, sir. As I understand that you met with the district attorney, did you understand your rights this afternoon?
Yes.
And did you understand the charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
It looks like they're still waiting on blood results. I don't know if you were here when I talked to the last gentleman. What I don't want you to think is I won't even start looking for, even thinking about an attorney until I have all the information. That can take 6, 7 months before you have all the discovery. I give you about 6 or 7 months to get an attorney. He's fairly sure he's just going to represent himself. But if you think if there's probable cause and the case is going forward to trial, I'll get an attorney then. A police officer made a determination of probable cause. I don't think you were seen on this in jail and that sort of thing, but my guess is you're going to need some assistance. So I would use the time now. Pretty serious charges. If you have more than one of these on your record, it becomes quite difficult for you to move around and that sort of thing. So if you need an attorney, look now. If you're going to represent yourself no matter what, then I think we're probably fine. Do you understand all that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have to issue a fingerprint order. You'll need to be fingerprinted and photographed within 14 days of today's date. I'll require you to comply with additional conditions of summons. No new offenses appear at all future court dates. No pretrial services right now. Drugs or alcohol, abstain from those on the honor system. Years ago, and it was in another state actually, person wasn't supposed to be drinking. He was taken off monitored sobriety, looked over, and the person who had been monitoring him saw him drinking the very next day. And so he was put right back on monitored sobriety. I don't expect that to occur, but just take this seriously and use this time to get a lawyer if you want one. You'll be in person until you have an attorney. So that's supposed to be the incentive. Next court date will be August 21st at 11. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead and get the paperwork outside. I think that's it for now. Thank you.